think when you look at the NAR buyer and seller profiles, and they look at the process that a buyer goes through when they're buying a house, the first thing is thinking about it, then it's like looking online, then it's talking to your family, then it's talk to a realtor, and then it's like make a grilled cheese sandwich, go on vacation, organize the closet, and somewhere like 12th on the list is talk to a lender.
Yeah. Hi everybody, welcome back to another Workout Wednesday. Thank you for being so patient with us as we did take a little bit of a time off with all my stuff going on for the rest of this year. I had to figure out how we're going to plan out this content, so we are back for the month of August, our first week here, and we're going to have a very special guest on today, Eric Spottswood from Prosperity Home Mortgage. Welcome on.
Thank you. Great to be here.
We're very happy to get you on. I was just telling you before, I was curious on why we had not had our core services partners on here, and then once we started spinning the idea, I was like, we got to do this. Because
you have so many amazing agents. I mean, this is much watched TV for me. I love listening to these, so honored to be here.
Thank you. We'll go ahead and start out. Just tell us a little bit about your background in the mortgage industry, how you get started, and then just walk us through what a typical day looks like for you.
Sure. So I got started growing up, I was really into basketball, so I thought maybe I could be a basketball player, but I had a rare combination of lack of skill and size that made me realize maybe I should pivot my career into something else. No, but all jokes aside, I've always been around sales, helping people. Like that's just a passion of mine. And it was just by happenstance. I went to lunch with a good buddy of mine for a birthday. Let's see, it was over 24 years ago. It was June 25th, 2001 is when I started. He happened to be a processor and said, have you ever thought about getting into mortgages? I said, I have no idea what that is. Interviewed and was started a week later.
Amazing.
Yeah, it was awesome.
That's awesome.
Typical day for me. I love coaching. I love developing. So it's interacting with my team. It's interacting with agents. Yes. Being in front of the office. I mean, everybody knows I love to talk. Yeah. So anytime I can get a mic in my hand, I'm pretty happy. Yeah. But I look at really my role as an educator. And that comes in a number of forms. Educating my team on processes and skill sets, educating agents on best practices and how to partner with us, educating clients on best practices. So anytime I have my hands on being able to talk to somebody and guide them and give them a little bit of information, I got a smile on my face.
Absolutely, and you do a great job of it.
Well,
I will say that. We'll go ahead and kind of move into more of the topical questions. What's one thing you wish more people understood about the mortgage process?
That the earlier you start, the easier it is. I think when you look at the NAR buyer and seller profiles, and they look at the process that a buyer goes through when they're buying a house, the first thing is thinking about it, then it's like looking online, then it's talking to your family, then it's talk to a realtor, and then it's like make a grilled cheese sandwich, go on vacation, organize the closet, and somewhere like 12th on the list is talk to a lender, where the list really should be inverted. This earlier you talk to us, the better you know what you're up against and how to get things going. So I think people, and I get it, we're not the fun part of the process. Nobody's excited about lending, but I think they put it off till later. It probably makes things a little harder than it should be. So if they got started first, then that would show them what to go shop for and who to talk to and where to engage in. I think it would just make things easier for everybody.
Awesome. So with that being said, what is an advantage that people are going to receive when they work with someone like Prosperity Home Mortgage compared to other lenders?
Sure. Well, you may or may not have heard, but we were ranked number 1 by J.D. Power and Associates for customer service in the country. So when you work with us, there's no hyperbole. You are working with the best of the best in the country. But one of the things that I think is the biggest difference is just the difference between getting a pre-approval and a fully underwritten loan commitment. We do that for free. There's no obligation. There's no downside to a client. But for them to come in and not just have a generic pre-approval letter and you think you're approved, but to have it fully underwritten, identify all the hiccups, all the gaps that could exist while you're in the process before your earnest money is on the line, huge win. And when you do that, we give the client a guarantee to give to the seller and the seller's agent a total of $30,000 that will close the loan on time. So huge advantage for people in working with us.
I think too, it's just, every one of your lenders I've met, including you, it's just so personable. They're very down to earth. They're very easy to talk to. They're very willing to come up and just have a casual conversation with you. And I think that kind of alleviates some of just that nervousness that you were talking about just a second ago, where people are waiting so long before they talk to a lender, I think that really, really helps in the process. I mean, every single one of your lenders I've met has been awesome.
I appreciate it. And honestly, we're not in it for the transaction, we're in it for the relationship. And hopefully that is, I think that's one of the key drivers why we did get the customer service award that we got is, we're trying to make the agent look good. We're not trying to close a deal. We're trying to give you a lifetime commitment to that client, and that's what we're in for.
Absolutely. So can you walk us through that pre-approval process and why it's going to matter so much whenever you're house hunting?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, getting a pre-approval means different things depending on who you talk to. So you can talk to somebody that says, here you go, you're pre-approved. But really the traditional definition of the word is, I've actually seen your information and I've had an underwriter signed off on it.
Gotcha.
So in general, when you get a pre-approval letter, it's not actually a pre-approval letter. You're not like fully approved. So most pre-approval letters that you get today, people are going to abclending.com or any of these other online places. You can get one in 10, 15 minutes, knock it right out.
Gotcha.
But it might not be as good as the paper that it's written on. But you need it. It's the ticket to the game. You can't put an offer on a house until you have a pre-approval letter. So it is the absolute first stop that you have to have. But getting that next step of actually having your income documents in hand, having your asset documents in hand, having somebody review them. The analogy that I've always used, and everybody's probably heard me say it over the years, is it's a difference between taking my car into the shop and telling them that it's leaking oil and they give me an estimate of what needs to happen, and then them calling me back the next day and saying, well, you really need to do this, this, and this. And I go, why didn't you tell me that yesterday? They're like, well, I didn't look under the hood of the car. I didn't know. Until I look at the documents, I won't have looked under the hood of the car. I don't really know your situation. So it's so important to truly get that approval up front to know where you stand.
I think that's a very good analogy. I want to talk a little bit about the loan programs, too, that are available to people that maybe they don't know about. So what are some of those loan programs?
Yeah, it's one of my favorite things to talk about. You see me absolutely just light up. There's so many creative options out there. And I think one of the biggest misconceptions out there in the market is that you talk to one lender, you talk to them all as far as products. And this isn't bashing anybody that's out there. I've worked at big banks and other institutions in the past. We didn't have a diverse product set. So I've talked to two of my personal friends in the last 6 months who talked to their local bank and were told no. And they just assumed that they couldn't get a loan and they couldn't shop. We talked to them. We have creative products we could put them into. One's already a homeowner and one's shopping right now. So when I think of creative products, I think of things like self-employed clients. Traditionally, it's been very hard for a self-employed client to get a loan because you write off a lot of income. It's one of the benefits. A lot of our agents are self-employed. They know very well. But we have things like bank statement loans, where I can look at your bank statement for your cash flow versus looking at your tax return. I have things like asset loans for high net worth clients, where I don't need to worry about all the different business structures that you have. You got a lot of money in the bank, that's good enough for me. I'm going to approve you. Investment properties, I don't need to look at your income. I just need to see, is it a profitable property that you're investing in? And I'll sign off on it right then. So for every 4 clients I talk to who say there's definitely not a path for me, 4 to 5 of them, I probably have something that fits them. So I think that's the biggest misconception out there, is there's a lot of diverse and creative things.
Very nice. So what are you going to appreciate more? What do you appreciate most, in your partnerships with our agents? And then what advice are you going to give to our agents whenever you're recommending one of our lenders?
Sure. The thing I love, and I feel like when I say love, I think of what makes the process feel smooth and easy for everybody. Us, our agent partners, because ultimately that's what I want for them. I want our clients happy, I want our agents happy. When I see happy agents, it's someone who's really grabbed the bull by the horns and try to be as proactive as possible with it. When I see somebody who runs into more of the hurdles and hiccups, it's somebody who's let things go kind of the client's direction. And that's not clients. They're great, but they have a lot of things going on in life. They're looking to move. They have all these things that are going on transplanting their life. So agents who hear a borrower who's interested, maybe they're not interested for 6 months, but they're not even shopping yet, get them over to get pre-approved. Have that process started early. Most of the time, even if there's a problem, there's a solution for it. The issue comes time. So if you wait till the weekend that you're shopping and they say, well, I'm not really ready to buy just yet, but we'll look at a couple, you always find the one. And then you try to rush to get the pre-approval letter, and then you figure out what the issue is. It ends up being a little bit more of a headache. So the more proactive you can be about those things, the more you can get things started early, the easier everybody's life is going to be. And the advice that I'd give them, just like I mentioned a minute ago, clients are busy. So don't give the clients the information and wait for them to call. Put the onus on us. Because if you say, hey, Eric, call Kelly, I'm calling Kelly today. If you say, hey, Kelly, when you get a minute, call Eric, Kelly's got life going on. Kelly means to call me, but Kelly doesn't. And then it takes a week or two. Kelly forgets, she loses the number, and then all of a sudden she's ready to shop and she's not ready to go. So the more you can put the onus on me and my team to just be proactive and get that going, it'll make everybody's life easier.
It just goes back to what you said, where you're flipping that whole process around. Talk y'all first instead of doing all these other things, because you do have all these other responsibilities. I mean, people have children, they're trying to sell a house. I mean, they're probably trying to pack everything up. So I mean, it's a stressful time. But yes, I do agree with all what you're saying. If you give one piece of advice to someone who is planning to sell, I probably can kind of see what you might be going towards here. But if anybody's going to be selling or buying in the next 12 months, what's that one piece of advice?
Start now. The earlier, the better. And I say to people all the time, even if you're not at a spot where you can get pre-approved, if you talk to us, you always walk away with something. You either walk away with an approval or a plan. But if you need a plan because you need to improve your credit, or you need a plan because you need to restructure your income, the earlier you can get started on that plan, the better. And you don't know what that plan is until you put all your cards on the table. I've talked to people who are very high net worth, who are not so great at paying bills and have a very poor credit score. I've talked to friends who I know have great successful businesses. I see how successful they are, but they write off everything and they don't show it, so they can't get approved for conventional loans. Until you really put the cards on the table and see exactly what somebody's situation is, you don't really know for sure what path they can head down. So the sooner we can see that, start creating a plan, and that plan might be you're in a great spot, don't change anything. But that plan might be, hey, do these 2 little tweaks over the next 6 months, and the process is going to be smooth and easy. So the earlier you start that plan, the easier everybody's life's going to be.
And I know it might seem like we're getting Eric to repeat himself a lot, but we are really trying to hammer this into you. It's going to take a lot to get in there. But final question, what is the most rewarding part of your work?
Oh, my gosh. So I've got, a lot of people know I have 3 kids. I've got an 11, 9, and a 4-year-old. And my 11-year-old, years ago, when she was 4, I remember somebody being at my house. We had a couple friends over, and they said to her, do you know what your dad does for work? And I stopped because I thought that's an interesting question to ask a 4-year-old. And I just kind of listened in, and she said, my dad helps people live in homes who want to live in homes. And I just thought, if I could bottle that up, if I could make that my ringtone. And then this year, my 4-year-old was in class, and they did one of those About Your Dad projects and for Father's Day. They had a whole list, and my favorite part of it was she said, do you know how old your dad is? And she said 16, and I thought, there's nothing better than that. But he went down and said, do you know what your dad does for a living? And she said, help people. And that to me is what it's all about. I'll help people cross the line with other lenders. I'll help people who never buy a house. That to me doesn't matter as much. I'm passionate about helping people and seeing them accomplish their dreams. It makes me feel fulfilled. And we get a great chance to do it in our line of work.
Well, Eric, that's amazing. I think that's really what we all want to do at deep down, especially with any industry. You want to help people. It's in our innate, it's in our nature to want to reach out to people and figure out how we can help them with a problem. And I think you're achieving that.
Oh, thank you.
So, but thank you for coming on this week.
Wow, thanks for having me. This is awesome.
Eric will be in all of our offices starting next week for our Core Services Roadshow. If you guys, or if you're one of our agents, you'll have that to look forward to. You'll be in, where are you going to be at?
Anywhere where there's free food or drink, you'll find me. Now, anywhere where they're willing to hand me a microphone, you will find me there and smiling.
Absolutely. So if you're one of our agents, be sure to go into the AE calendar to kind of find out the dates that they're going to be in the offices. But if you are not one of our agents and you're looking to find out more about what we're about, maybe reach out to one of us or Eric, and he can teach you more about our brokerage. But other than that, we will see y'all next week. Take care.